So everyone, thank you for joining us today. I'm Khawla from the J-MENA project. So can you see the screen well? Can you hear me well? Today is the start of the second time for the Study in Japan webinar session, online educational fair. And we are cooperating with our partner institutions, namely Kobe Institute of Computing, Tokai University, and the University of Hyogo. This is day one, and we would like to thank all the representatives, and we also appreciate you guys joining us today. First, we would like to start introducing studying in Japan under the framework of the J-MENA project. So the J-MENA, as you may know, is Japan, Middle East, North Africa. We basically interact with the students, with ministries, with embassies and other institutions to promote studying at Japanese universities. So we're based at Kyushu University and we're cooperating with our partner universities. For the moment, our activities are in cooperation with 30 Japanese universities. And all these universities offer English-based programs, means you don't have to learn Japanese language before applying for the English program. So these make the journey shorter to get your degree or diploma. And our activities are funded by the MEXT, as you know, like the popular Mambo Kakakusho Scholarship from the Ministry of Education and the Japanese government. And we aim to build partnerships with the high schools, with the universities and other agencies in Japan and abroad, mainly in the MENA region. And we're active through the recruiting activities. So we participate in educational fairs and organizing these sessions like we are doing today. We are also active through organizing short-term programs. So you guys can join us for a short period of time to know more about the campuses, the universities, the student life, and the programs you may apply in the future. We are active now with Turkey, as we have an office in Turkey, in Ankara. And we are active also in Egypt, as we have the Kyushu University office in Cairo, and we are strengthening our network among the different countries of the MENA region. So here is the Ite campus, the main location of the J-MENA project. We are in Fukuoka, the south part of Japan, as you can see here. And the Ite campus is a big campus, and you can study many things at Kyushu University. And also here is the list of our partner institutions all along Japan. As I mentioned before, we have 2 offices outside Japan, in Ankara, in Turkey, and in Egypt. And we basically cooperate with the embassies, with the organizations like JASO, JICA, JICE, and many other cooperative organizations. So here are the main activities as I described before. So we mainly connect with the professors to organize and give you mock lectures, as it would be important for you and helpful for you to know and to prepare your research plan if you're applying for a postgraduate program. And also we cooperate with embassies as they offer the MEXT scholarships, and with ministries, and we try to share all this information among the SNS platforms of the project. So you can join us through Facebook, through Instagram. Also, we have many videos, many interviews with our successful students who are currently in Japan studying at the Japanese universities. So you can watch their interviews, you can learn from them how they applied for the courses and how they successfully obtained scholarships and how is student life in Japan generally. We know it's quite challenging, or it's quite like new idea to move from MENA region to come all the way to Japan, a new country, new system, new language, different culture. All these make Japan as a unique destination, and at the same time it's good to be well prepared and to get a good idea about the system in general. Through our universities and also the platform, we try to share some advice so you can make sure to get a good application and to guarantee your successful application. So here is today's session. We would like to talk to you guys about why to study in Japan and what makes Japan as a special destination for you. We all know that Japan is the country with the modern technology, with the Shinkansen, with the popular robots and everything, and this makes Japan enough special. But also in Japan, we have, okay, as you know, guys, the anime, the biggest and the famous companies for cars, for other technologies. And also in Japan, we have a higher quality of education and research. So many Japanese researchers, they get the Nobel Prize. This makes education and research in Japan special and with a good and high quality. Also in Japan, if you'd like to study in Japan, luckily, it's not that expensive as you may consider. So in this table, we try to summarize the tuition fees for like the national universities, the local and the private ones. So of course, if you'd like to join a public university, or let's say the private university, that would be more expensive. But talking about the national universities, it's not that expensive as you may imagine. Let's say the example of Kyushu University or Tokyo University, one of the national universities, and they cost almost $4,000 per year. Yes, $4,000 per year and not 40. So you can check the tuition fees on the website of the university, and you can also follow us today till the end of the session to know more about the tuition fees. But still, even though it's not that expensive, you can get scholarships, fully funded scholarships from the Japanese government, and that would cover everything. And to do that, you have to choose a specific program and to apply for an English program. As I mentioned before, no need to learn Japanese if you're applying for an English program. However, I do recommend to know the language, the basics, to get familiar with the culture. That would help you a lot to adapt to the system, to the country, and to have a smooth student life. So talking about education, in Japan, there are many universities, more than 800 universities between national, public, and private. And we are talking today about the universities offering the English-based programs. So basically, when we say English program, means all the lectures and courses are taught in English, plus you will get to study the Japanese language as a course. And that would be important for you guys. Some universities offer extensive or intensive Japanese courses at the beginning, and then they have a different system. So we highly recommend to check the special guidelines or the special program following each university. Here at the J-MENA, we try to show you a brief and a summary of all the required application documents, information, and it's good to make sure to follow the specific details based on the university or the program you're applying for. Talking about the student life and how Japan, as I mentioned, is not that expensive to study in Japan, I would like to add that even the student life as a daily life, like for your food, accommodation, transportation, that won't be expensive as you may imagine. Let's say living in Tokyo is not the same like living in Osaka or in Fukuoka. So these costs would differ from a city to another, but here is the average, and you can check it through some websites, and you can even ask your friends, those who are studying in Japan, and ask them that, how much do I need to live as a student in Japan? It's good to mention that when you are a student in Japan, you will get student discounts for transportation, you will have access to dormitories and other facilities. We will see these details with our partner universities for today. And let's talk mainly about education and the English programs. For example, let's say at Kyushu University, you can study engineering, the most popular or among the most popular majors for students. So if you're interested to study applied chemistry, civil engineering, electrical engineering, computer science, you can consider our university. and more other opportunities are available with other partner universities. Here is just an example of what kind of fields or studies I can do in Japan in English. So here are some details. I will not go in detail for these, but you can, guys, please, you can write your question and in the Q&A box, and we will reply it later, okay? So here, more details about the civil engineering, the different courses, same for the computer science and the aerospace mechanical space. So basically what we ask you to do is to check the program, to check the university, and to start reading about the requirements and to prepare your documents before the application deadline. It's very important, and it's very important for you as a student to know the major you would like to study. That shows that you are like specific and you will be totally ready to go through this way, to apply and to explain well through the interview, and that would help you a lot to even prepare your application to be clear. So through these educational fair, we try to show you the general idea. We hope that would help you to see the future in a clearer way. And also in Japan, there are many, let's say, websites like Study in Japan that would help students to know more about the programs, about student life. You can hear from students, sorry. And yeah, you can even look for like a job and career in Japan after graduation. What can I do as a researcher or as a graduate? So all these information are available through these platforms, and you can know many things. For example, in Japan, the first semester starts from April to September, the first semester, and the second semester will start October to March. So mainly here, generally now in July, end of July, basically students are done or they are finishing their exams and they are waiting for the summer holidays. So here is like a different academic calendar in Japan. I think it's different from the other countries. And for the application period, actually it differs from university to another, either it's national or private. And some universities have like one time to apply per year, others have 2 times. So it's good to check. That's why we recommend to choose the university or choose the program and follow the schedule or the calendar, okay? And of course, as long as you're studying in English, you need to submit a proof that your English language ability is good enough, that you won't face any problem. And of course, most of universities require TOEFL or IELTS or sometimes TOEIC. If you have an English curriculum, you can prove that by a letter. So these details goes back to the university itself. And for the undergraduate program, most of the universities require the standardized tests like the SAT or the ACT or IB, and the score is different from program to another. So same, please make sure to contact the university or the program and follow the exact requirements. So let's make a summary. To apply to Japan as a student, first, I need to gather information. And I believe you guys are here as working on the first step, gathering the information. And second, based on these information, you will select school, university, program, and you will try to prepare your documents, taking the tests, the exams, preparing your documents. It depends on the program also. If you're applying for an undergraduate, there are a limited number of documents. If you're applying for a master or PhD, you need to prepare your research proposal. This is a +1, plus like a task to do. Also, you need to contact professor working in Japan. It becomes a little bit challenging, but it's worth it as long as you know what you'd like to do. And all these steps will take time. That's why we recommend to start these steps minimum 1 year before and applying 6 months before, and follow the calendar of the university. Don't worry, because you will be in full contact with the program, with the admission office, so they will guide you. And if it's required, take an entrance exam or an interview, and to follow the steps as it's required. So basically in Japan, if you need to enter an undergraduate program, you have to make sure that you have the 12 years of schooling or education. And the same if you're interested to apply for a master or doctoral program, you have to meet these requirements. So please make sure to read the requirements and the eligibility before applying. So it helps you to know more, and you will gain time. So these, as we discussed, these scores differ from a program to another, but in general, if you'd like to compete and to guarantee a successful application, make sure to have the highest grade, of course, and do your best. For those who are still studying now at universities or high schools, and they would like to join Japanese universities in the soon future, make sure to do your best, work harder on getting higher scores, improve your English, start gathering information from now. That would help you a lot to gain time and to not lose 1 year or just keep waiting. That's very important. Timing is important, actually, especially if you would like to apply for MEXT, as an example of the Japanese scholarships. It's competitive, so it's good to be well prepared, because if you're selected based on your submitted documents, you will be asked for an interview. And mainly they will ask you about why you'd like to study in Japan, and why did you choose this university, and what are you planning to do after graduation. So reading a lot about the different universities, what makes Japan special about your topic or major, that would help a lot your application and make you special. Try to avoid the common answers and make your own or unique application. I would like to take this opportunity to talk about a program, an English-based program for doctoral students. So those who have a master's degree already, and they would like to apply or pursue their doctor program, they can apply for this program at Kyushu University, and it's open till 31st of October. So it's quite a large window to apply. So you can check the link, or if you contact us through the J-MENA, we can support you with the website, with the platform, and it's a good program as an example of studying in Japan in English. And talking about the financial aid for international students, as we mentioned before, there are scholarships. You can apply for the scholarships through the embassy recommendation or through university recommendation. And as we mentioned before, it's not that expensive. You can be like self-funded, and you can do part-time jobs. By the way, many students do some part-time jobs, and they kind of enjoying the student life, integrating within the Japanese culture, people, and they're having their real life in here. So you don't have to worry about financement. We have also the JASO organization that would support students for like partial scholarships. So opportunities are available, just go for it and read about it. And as we talked about the future career after graduation, actually many researchers after graduation, they pursue their even research as a postdoc, or they apply to work for companies. And in this point, the Japanese language makes a difference between the graduate students. If you know Japanese, and if you have taken, for example, the GLPT, the Japanese certificate, that would help you a lot to find a job in Japan. So that's why we recommend to start learning the language before applying. It's not mandatory, but if you're planning to, plus to your educational, let's say, success or like publications, this kind of academic requirements, you can guarantee a job in Japan. And here the platforms, for example, the Study in Japan, so they help you to search for schools. Also through the J-MENA platform, you can contact us anytime and we try to support you. There are Study in Japan basic guides that would explain the necessary information like we are doing now in a summary way, but still you can check them carefully. And also our session will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, J-MENA Students. So you can rewatch it again. And for those who could not join us today for any reasons, you can share it. You can watch it again, or our friends, you can share it with your friends and they can join us anytime. And as an example, I would like to mention that our project, J-MENA project, is cooperating with agencies in Japan to host students for a short-term program. The purpose is to show them around the universities, having lectures and getting to know the different English-based programs at different universities. In this way, you can know, you can visit the country, because many students would say, okay, I'm afraid if I apply for a 3-year program and I didn't visit Japan from like before, I would love to visit the country for a short period of time and get to know the system and the life. And that's true. So you can apply for some short-term programs through universities and you can get these opportunity. So please check the platforms or the websites of the universities and you can contact us so we can help you to look for these information. Again, thank you very much. This is the plan for today. So far we are done with our presentation, with our talk. Later or in a few minutes, I would like to ask the representative from Kobe Institute of Computing to talk about the university, the programs in details. And in the meantime, we can answer some questions from you guys. So the first one is, do I need Japanese for taking scholarships? That's a good question, actually, because as I mentioned, if you're applying for a scholarship through the embassy, you will be asked to take exams, English exam and Japanese exam. Well, to be honest, the very important one is the English one, because you will be studying in English. So make sure to get very, very excellent mark. Plus, yes, it's a bonus for you. So if you know some Japanese, that would support your application. So just go for it. It's not mandatory as a requirement, but is a bonus for you. If I want to study master degree in Japanese, do I have to take TOEFL or IELTS? If you will study in Japanese language, you need to submit GLPT, is the Japanese language proficiency test, before coming to Japan. Means you have to know the Japanese language. If you'd like to study in a Japanese university, but in English, so yeah, you have to submit TOEFL or IELTS. I hope that was clear. Hello, I want to ask if I can't receive any scholarship, is it possible to work in anywhere? Yes, just knowing English and basic Japanese. Yeah, I think we mentioned this point. If you're accepted as a student in a Japanese university and you will be self-funded, plus you can do part-time jobs, and yes, as a waiter, as cashier. So yeah, in this part, you may need to know some basic Japanese because you will be communicating with Japanese people, but yeah, it's possible. From Muhammad San, okay, in Arabic language, literature, okay. I would like to study Japanese literature on perhaps Arabic and Japanese comparative literature. My desire may be related to literature, but I am ready to change course. Okay, so maybe for Muhammad San, we will send you our email. And if you can tell us more details about your CV, so we can help you, okay? Thank you very much for your question. I'm having difficulty finding the IB requirements for studying computer science in terms of subject choices and grades at the University of Tokyo. Could you kindly help me with that? Yeah, sure. So for the IB requirements, as we mentioned, it differs from program to another, from university to another. So yes, you can join us tomorrow, because tomorrow we'll be working or presenting with the University of Tokyo, and you can ask the question directly to the representative, I think that would be great for you. Otherwise, we can look for the information and get back to you, okay? What's the rules that make me accept in the scholarship at doctoral? Yeah, that's important because if you're applying for a doctoral program, you have to have your own research idea. Okay, I will be a doctoral student, means I will be basically doing research, and research on what? So you have to present your idea, and that's what we call a research proposal. You have to propose a research plan to the supervisor, and if he accepts your request, so you can join the program. So this is the main part. Plus, to submit documents like the application form, your master's degree, like the educational background, your TOEFL or IELTS. Yeah. So the requirements here, I mentioned them in general. It's different from program to another, but make sure to prepare your research plan. That's very important. Who can help me the most in my proposal? Okay, I think doing literature review is very important because I believe that you know the major and try to read the published research works already, and try to focus on the what is done by researchers and what is the missing point. You have to define the niche, and then you can work on it. You can propose a solution and propose some techniques, and that's how it goes. So reading a lot help you a lot. And if you're interested to join a laboratory or a university, try to read what kind of projects are done in this laboratory, and try to define new solutions for such a point. So I recommend to read and to get updated and to propose a new solution for a non-treated point. Are there majors like media communication, cinema studies too for postgraduate studies? I believe so. So yeah, please email us by mentioning your major, your bachelor's degree, or your educational background, if you're studying or not, your year of graduation, and we can help you by proposing some programs. Is taking international exams boost your success rate? And if it boosts, what do you recommend to take among international exams? Actually, if you're taking any exams that would support your application, mainly the required ones, of course, they are mandatory. For SAT or AP, it's important for the undergraduate level. If you're applying for a master or doctor, no need for SAT or AP or IB or ACT. They are only for the undergraduate, and some programs require the SAT, others require the IB. So make sure to choose the program and read about the application requirements. I believe we have many questions. So guys, we will reply your questions by messaging you. So please stay with us, because now we will start our meeting, or I will give the space to Kobe Institute of Computing. So I will keep replying your questions with the J-MENA team by typing and messaging. Again, thank you very much, everyone. We highly appreciate your attendance, and I kindly invite Kobe Institute of Computing to join us.
Thank you so much. So my name is Hiroki Saito from KIC Admission Office. So I'm so excited to give some presentation to you guys about our institute. So at first, so I would like to share my presentation document. Just a moment, please. All right. First, I'd like to explain today's agendas. So at first, I will show some videos about overview about the KIC. I hope you can get some information about the KIC through the videos. And second, I will explain how to apply for KIC. And finally, Q&A session. So I will show some video moment.
She was closing every day for the young generation, and then suddenly comes ICT, which breaks all those borders. And from despair, you go to hope.
KLab is not just a place. KLab is like an incubator where you go and you can be able to create something that can legitimately save people's lives.
KLab became a very important tool for me. That exposure to mentorship, a really cool space, relaxed with the community.
We regularly send young people from here to Japan, especially the city of Kobe.
Rwandan youth students come to here and knock the gate for their future.
It feels good when you see that you're creating something is taking shape from your creation, your thinking, and it's quite amazing.
They come back here with not only the knowledge, but also the exposure to the Japanese way of doing business. There is a new horizon of opportunity for young people growing up right now in Rwanda. They can now afford to dream.
So for me, I'm very proud.
Being alive in Rwanda today and being a computer programmer is the coolest thing that you can be.
Our catchphrase is social innovation by ICT and yourself, which means each student will take the initiative in developing and implementing ICT solutions to solve the realistic issues in their own countries.
I am doing my research on smart card technology and its application on e-money in public transport.
I'm studying ICT for development, especially in the field of education.
And then I'm going to do my research in animal disease outbreak prevention and control system.
To achieve this, they not only learn ICT technologies with focus on open source technologies, but also they learn how to apply them in real situations. Especially, they will learn from me Tankyu practice, our original method to come up with ICT solutions to solve the socio-economic issues in their countries. And I want to make sure that they will succeed in their future ICT projects.
I want to involve ICT for the project in Bangladesh.
I'm confident that I'll be having the knowledge I need to take my company to the next level.
I think it's very vibrant and unique because we have students here from about now 15 countries, from different African countries with different backgrounds.
We can create new ideas. This is because variety of students is in here.
The students and the professors, they all together, shoulder by shoulder, they conducted their academic activities.
KIC has great education environment. We are having professors from different professions who are honestly helping us in our research.
Students with various backgrounds from many countries, they respect each other and collaborate and discuss a lot to create something new.
I love Kobe.
It's a much cultural city.
It's a rich history and culture.
It's a beautiful city.
Great weather.
And people are quite friendly.
Close to foreigners.
Home away from home.
There are many things to learn from this city.
It's really a great joy to teach them and work with them.
Thank you for watching some video, and I would like to show one more video which explain about the KIC more detail in a moment.
So thank you very much for Kobe Institute of Computing.
Sorry, yeah, I want to show one more video.
Please, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Welcome to Kobe Institute of Computing, KIC. In this video, we would like to present the overview of KIC in various points of view. This is the outline. We would like to introduce to you our educational policy, achievements, and the current story of our alumni, so please watch this until the end. Number 1, History of KIC. KIC was originally founded in Kobe City in Hyogo, Japan in 1958 as the first vocational school of computer education and electronic engineering in Japan. In 2005, it has also started the Professional Graduate School of Master of Science in Information System, in addition to a vocational education program. Number 2, Graduate School of Information Technology. KIC is a 2-year professional school. There is only one department at our graduate school, which is the Information System. Students can get the degree of Master of the Information System. The current president is Mr. Toshiki Sumitani, who is a graduate of a master's program in physics at Tokyo University. Before joining KIC, he had worked as a consultant at McKinsey & Company. At KIC, we applied a unique research method named the Tankyu method developed by him. It utilizes the following 3 factors to achieve the project goals, which are technology, financial resources, and human resources. Number 3, admission for students from African countries. At KIC, we accepted more than 177 students from 34 countries across Africa until now. Number 4, achievement. At KIC, we have been working on cultural exchange programs and ICT projects with the Republic of Rwanda under the diplomatic relationship. To this great achievement, our Vice President, Mr. Kenji Fukuoka, has received praise and honor words from the Rwanda President, Mr. Paul Kagame. The picture in the slide is a scene of the welcoming dinner at the official residence of the Prime Minister. There have been many visitors from the Republic of Rwanda to KIC, such as ministers, business leaders, and educationalists. KIC has received the 15th JICA President Award commendation to its significant contribution to developing human resources and social development through cooperation in many years. KIC has been selected as one of the designated schools of World Bank Scholarship Program because of its unique curriculum in ICT education and social development. Number 5, alumni. Our alumni have been working in various fields, not only ICT, but education, medicine, urban planning, and etc. Ms. Akliza Kizan-Swari, who graduated from KIC in September 2016, is one of those. She has now been working in the high-level panel on digital cooperation funded by the United Nations. Number 6, campus life. KIC has 11 campus buildings and auditorium, which can accommodate 300 people. There are also male and female dormitories within walking distance of the main campus building. Kobe is selected as the #1 in QS World University ranking in terms of its safety and convenience of living environment. If you have any opportunity to come to Kobe, please visit KIC. Welcome to the scholarship information page at KIC. In this video, we'd like to explain the overview of the 3 major scholarships available at our institution. If you're interested, please check the link provided for each scholarship program. Number 1, Master's Degree and Internship Program of the African Business Education Initiative for Youth, ABE Initiative. Overview. JICA has been appointed to implement a master's degree and internship program in the project of ABE Initiative, which is designed for the countries whose official requests have been accepted by the Japanese government. Target: private sector or government official educators. Number 2, SDGs Global Leader Program by JICA. Overview. It is aimed at fostering young or middle workers, academicians, and leading human resources who will make significant influences on policy-making process in various fields, or will contribute to socio-economic development of their countries in near future. Target: young or middle government official, prospective academics, and personnel. Number 3, Joint Japan World Bank Graduate Scholarship Program, JJWBGSP. Overview. It is open to women and men from developing countries with a relevant professional experience and history of supporting their country's development efforts for applying to a master's degree program in development-related topic. Target: a citizen of World Bank member developing country.
Konnichiwa, hello everyone, Dumelang. My name is Maweleng Kapula from South Africa. I am currently studying towards my master's at the Kobe Institute of Computing. This is my first year, so yes, and my research focus is on the digital divide, how we can create a learning environment for children, especially those in rural South Africa. My research explores how we can collaborate as an international community to make certain ICT tools available and how to implement and use self-learnable ICT software. So I have been in Japan before. This is my second time back in Japan, although I was in a different prefecture. I am really fond of the Japanese culture and how the people just have respect for the environment and people around them. And during my 2 years of studying here in Japan, I wish to also perfect my Japanese, as it is a skill set that you can have for the rest of your life and use it in business relations, especially as an Abe Initiative Scholar, where you have to nurture the growing relationship between Japan and your home country. I highly recommend any person who is interested in ICT and social innovation to apply at Kobe Institute of Computing, as the teachers are very supportive. The school system is also designed in a way that is very accommodative for all types of students from different types of backgrounds, and you get to exchange ideas with other people around you. So yes, I encourage every person who is interested in learning ICTs in Japan to apply at this institution. Thank you very much and hope to see you in the future.
Okay, thank you so much. We hope this video has given you some insight into KIC. So let me explain about the application procedure from now on. So let me share my document again. Okay, we have two courses which are only difference of language and entrance timing. For the people who speak English, we have the ICT Innovator course of English lecture and October entrance. And the second, for the people who speak Japanese, we have the ICT professional course of Japanese lecture and April entrance. So they are application qualifications. I'd like to explain them simply. One, those who have a bachelor's degree, because we are master's graduate school, or are scheduled to receive such a degree by the admission date. Second, those who have completed a 16 years course in school education. Three, the applicant must be at least 22 years old by the admission date. So this is selection method of KIC. The first, document screening. And second, interview by online system like Zoom, just like today's session. Successful applicants shall be selected comprehensively through an interview online after application document screening. The sense of purpose and willingness to study at our university will be judged by an interview conducted in English for the ICT Innovator course as the October entrance, or Japanese for the ICT professional course as the April entrance. For more detail, please read carefully admission guideline. This is the schedule for the ICT Innovator course as the English course October entrance, as I mentioned to you. Unfortunately, this year has already closed. Please wait for the next year's entrance. So usually we have only two times of examination and application deadlines for people who are living overseas and for people who are living in Japan. Only one chance for each examination. Please do not miss. So this is tuition fee. For the second year, this is 1,800,000 Japanese yen without admission fee. Sorry, so without admission fee, 1,600,000 Japanese yen. For the first year, so you need to pay admission fee, 200,000 Japanese yen. So for more detail, please read carefully our admission guideline. You can download the admission guidelines for ICT Innovator course from our official homepage. This is public sector scholarship information for ICT Innovator course. 1, JICA, and 2, Japanese government next scholarship. You can just access to their homepage website and you may get some information about the scholarship. We have also own scholarship program. The first one is tuition exemption, 200,000 Japanese yen per year for self-funded students. The second one is fully online program. We have prepared tuition exemption 200,000 Japanese yen per year for fully online program students. Those who are interested should submit the application. And also, we will introduce various scholarships for self-funded students after enrollment. So please be aware of the office's guidance. This is fully online course program. Lectures and seminars are delivered online. Students who have taken the fully online course program can take online classes in your country. We recommend you who do not need to come to Japan and want to take all lecture in your country. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Actually, I'd like to move Q&A session from now. So, can I answer the question one by one? So how can I answer? Yes.
So first of all, thank you very much for the video and all the information. So far, we received like common questions about studying in Japan, but if anyone is having a specific question for Kobe Institute of Computing, please write it down in the Q&A box so you can have the right answer. Yeah. We have, okay, from Abdul Hamid, is there any opportunities for medical clinical fellowship in Japan? So maybe the question will be addressed for the Kobe Institute of Computing. I believe it's mainly for engineering, so.
Yes, actually, there is some opportunities. Yes.
Another question we received, if I understand right, this is not for undergraduate students. So participant is asking whether the available programs are for undergraduate or graduate.
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
We have
Sorry,
another.
Could you tell me again, please? I didn't get the question.
Okay. The question is from the student is saying, if I understand right, this is not for undergraduate students.
Okay. Yes, actually, our school, graduate school, so only we have master course.
Okay, so yes, she understood right. So it's available for master, yes, not undergraduate. We have another question. Can one do cross-field studies at Kobe University, such as media and IT for postgraduate? So first here we are having Kobe Institute of Computing, not Kobe University, but yeah, I'm sure like the question is addressed to Kobe Institute. So asking about doing cross-field studies and such as media and IT.
Okay, thank you for asking. Yes, actually, as she mentioned to you, so our institute name is Kobe Institute of Computing, different from Kobe University, but our course is information system. So you can just, you can just learn about IT and ICT, something like that.
Another question. I already graduated, but from engineering university. Is it possible to study anime related Japanese culture with an engineering background, or is it related to filmmaking, directing, voice acting, the anime? I think it's dedicated for anime. So
okay, thank you for inquiry. Actually, so as I mentioned to you, so our institute can give lecture about IT and ICT. So I think you can study about if you want to study Japanese culture like animation or voice actor, blah blah blah. So we have sister school which is vocational school, competence vocational school. Just you can contact to them. So name is competence vocational school. Okay. I think you are mute now.
Yeah, please, sorry. So yeah, I think we have another question. So maybe it's the last question we'll take for this session. So hello, thank you for this wonderful session. I'm Ahmed from Libya. I'm asking about a master's degree in cybersecurity through a mixed scholarship. My question is, I am a physics graduate, so I have a bachelor's degree in physics. I aspire to study a master's degree in cybersecurity. Is changing the path a problem or is it normal? Thanks.
Yes, thank you for asking me. It's not problem, normal. Actually, our course, our major is IT and ICT, but some of the students have changed their majors. So that's why, so if you want to study some cybersecurity, so you can just learn in KIC, even you studied physics or some other major in university. So we don't care about that. We don't care about your background.
Thank you very much for the explanation and for your time. And I hope that was clear for everyone.